What's the matter, Peter? You look like you lost your last friend. Hey, but I know for a fact you've still got at least one.
It's Uncle Ben. I miss him so much. I just feel lost without him. He raised me. I loved him. And he died because he was looking for me. I'm not sure how to live with that.
Let me ask you something, Pilgrim. Your Uncle Ben, he was one of the best people I ever knew. Everyone loved him. He had an amazing life, right? So, why do you want to make it all about how it ended? What counts isn't how he died, Peter. What matters is really the way he lived. I want you to make his life mean something. I want you to be the man he raised you to be. The man that he was so proud of when he saw what you were growing into.
He told you that?
All the time. Your uncle knew what a tough place the world could be. He knew that it needs heroes. And hey, take it from me, you are one of those heroes. So what do you say? Are you gonna go out there and prove it? I want you to do it for Uncle Ben, and for me.
Yeah. Yes, Dan. I will. I miss Uncle Ben. I'll always miss him. But I don't have to replace him, because he already gave me everything I needed. Now it's up to me to honor his memory by using what he gave me, in a way that'll make him proud.
Nuff said. Nuff said.
Dan, you gotta get your D fixed.
Oh, Stan's D it's the biggest and best D in all of New York.
That does it.
That's Spider-Man 2, the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Not Spider-Man 2. That game
So
still not done.
So first foremost, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. It's really good.
Yes.
It's not completely tied in with the game, but there are references that the game makes to the movie. That's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of the movie in the game is kind of told through audio log stuff like that. And it's not one-to-one. Like the Green Goblin shows up like near the end of the movie. I mean, but in this game, he's like right in the middle of the game.
Yeah,
and you're just fighting him. It's like that doesn't happen. I mean, Spider-Man is not fighting the Green Goblin during the middle of Spider-Man 2 in broad daylight, fighting, giant clusters of bombs.
I guess they were fighting. He did fight Electro in the streets of New York.
He did. That part was pretty cool.
But anyways, we're not talking about the movie.
No,
if you want
we'll
to hear
about
about the
later.
movie, join us in Podcow for later this week. We'll definitely be talking about that. But
absolutely.
As far as the game goes,
yeah, let's get to this game. You didn't play it? Did you?
I played a very little bit of it.
Okay.
I played like about 30 minutes of it. So.
All right. Well,
I felt the web swinging was. I mean, I haven't played a lot of Spider-Man games, but I thought that the web swinging for someone who's new coming into it was actually really easy to grasp. And then I'm sure if I played more of it and got a handle on just the mechanics and getting around, it'd be really fun. And that was an important piece to you, right? Coming into this,
it's the most important piece. The web swinging is what makes or breaks the Spider-Man game. Because you can play, if you want to play a game where you can beat people up, there's a million games where you could just go around doing combos, stuff like that. And the combat isn't what is gonna put this game on the list of Spider-Man games. Because the combat is, it's simplistic. It's mash the X button to attack, hit Y when you want to dodge. I mean, you can time your X buttons to get better critical hits and stuff like that, but not really essential. The web swinging is what makes or breaks a Spider-Man game for me, and this is the closest Beanox has ever come to creating that Spider-Man 2 web swinging feel.
Okay.
That's being what, in my opinion, should be what playing a Spider-Man game should feel like. It's Spider-Man 2. So this game, the importance on that second trigger to boost your momentum is very important for getting that right feeling.
Okay.
And adding that into this game, in addition to most of the time swinging only on physical surfaces, things like that. There are moments where you're not swinging on a physical surface, but most of the time you attach your web to a building or something else, and that feels good. They've improved from the last game a lot with the RB button, which is you pause time and space, and then you choose where you want to go. You can also tap RB, and when you tap RB while you're just web swinging normally, it gets closer to that feeling of Spider-Man 2. While not perfect, the best they've ever done, and getting really close to the mark.
Okay.
A couple of things could make it feel better. Combos during the fighting would help. When you're playing Spider-Man, you want to feel like you have a little bit more control. You want to use your webs during fights more. And in this game, there's not really a lot of that. Anytime you're shooting a web in combat, you're just shooting your webs. It doesn't fit into the combat at all, except for when doing special takedown maneuvers, which doesn't happen very often. But ultimately, I'm positive on the game. I bought it on PS4 separately from our Xbox 360 copy, and I've beaten it, and I've just spent a lot of time playing it even after I've beaten it, replaying missions.
Hey, Minneapolis.
Doing things like that. Where'd you see that?
It was Quality Assurance Minneapolis.
Nice.
It's kind of cool.
So I think it's a good game. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that are going to disagree with me. It's just another movie tie-in Spider-Man game from Activision.
But I mean, that's kind of what Spider-Man 2 was. So
Spider-Man 2, the video game, was also a movie tie-in Spider-Man game from Activision.
I think it's a good point and a good reason to show that just because it is a movie tie-in doesn't mean that it has to be a bad game.
No.
Like there are a lot of bad games that are movie tie-ins, but game companies and developers out there don't just think that, hey, because I'm making this movie tie-in, it's gonna be like everyone's gonna think it's a bad game. I know that the first reception to this game and to the movie actually was not great from the critics. They were giving, I mean, it was like 5, 6. Like, it wasn't anything 8 or 9.
Mediocre.
I would probably give it like, if I had to, like a 7 or 8.
Okay.
If I gave more time to it, it would definitely show that. But I'm surprising. I think our opinion is not that at all that this game is bad. It's just It's not perfect, but that's not
it has its flaws. The constant having to worry about your hero meter, because not only is it annoying to have that meter go down when you're working so hard to keep it up, but once it gets down, you've got the task force really coming after you. We didn't really show that a lot because we kept the meter up for so much, but the task force is coming after you, and you're just trying to swing around the city, and you're constantly being bombarded, or your webs are being frozen so you can't use them. And then just the repetition of the things themselves. But
oh, you can rely on me, Mr. Mayor. I consider it my honor to provide any help I can. What happened to young Osborn is tragic, but never fear. I'll continue to finance the task force myself. And, at the risk of seeming overconfident, I promise you, with the criminal organizations that plagued our city crushed, the crime rate will go down to a manageable level. Yeah, goodbye. There you are. Come in, my friend. Come in. I couldn't have done this without you. Chameleon.
What happens now?
Now, the real work begins.
Amazing Spider-Man 3 will have the Kingpin and Chameleon as your main bad guys, but that's just for the game, not for the movies.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice little thing for the ending there. Saying, hey, there's probably gonna be more Spider-Man games in the future, and if they're as good as this one, then,
or maybe even better, improving
if it's
on things.
even better than this, I mean, I'll go nuts for that game. If you want to play a good Spider-Man game and you want it to be recent and next gen or this gen or whatever, this is probably gonna be the best one in recent memory. I think Web of Shadows was pretty good back in the day, but even that had its flaws.
Can't ever forget
well,
what
I mean, but Spider-Man 2
to help people
on PS2 and Xbox and GameCube also had its flaws. So ultimately, not a bad game. It's got. We did unlock a new
bad guys
suit.
call me
My
Bug.
favorite suit.
Spiders are arachnids.
But maybe we'll show that here at the very end. But Dewey, you've got nothing else. We're gonna say goodbye. And what should they be checking out on the channel coming up?
Oh god, we have Wolfenstein: A New Order coming up. We're thinking of doing a lead up, doing Wolfenstein 3D. The old school game. That'd be me, Zach, and Raymond doing that. So if you guys want to see that, we'd love to see some support. When that goes up, we'll at least throw up like a part 1 or 2 of that. So
Exactly.
other than that, I don't know. Just kind of stay tuned, follow us on our social medias, and you'll be the most up to date as to what we're doing.
We'll absolutely be finishing Spider-Man 2, the video game, and then yeah, up until then. Up until the new Wolfenstein game, it's, you know, we'll have to come up with some creative things ourselves.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see you guys in the next videos.
This is my favorite Spider-Man.
That's
costume,
pretty cool.
Because it's got the mouth.
Yeah.
It's badass.